N4LQ.
N4R. K3OS.
WB4NKL.
W4ARK.
W4KR.
K4 VWD.
W4MEC.
K4 JAL.
All right, let me give you the list that I have, and you can tell me who I missed. N4LQ, KN4R, K3OS, WB4NKL, KZ4B, WB4ARK, W4KR, K4VWD, W4MEC, K4JAL. Who is? Well, I'm hearing a carrier with no audio. Try it again. Still no audio, just a carrier. Alrighty. One more time through the list. N4LQ, KN4R, K3OS, WB4NKL, KZ4B, WB4ARK, W4KR, K4VWD, W4MEC, K4JAL. One more time. Anyone else? All right. Good morning, and hope everyone had a excellent, peaceful Christmas. So far, copying everybody just fine. Little noise on the band, but not too much. Rainy day here in the eastern part of Yancey County. We've had 2.97 inches of rain, almost 3 inches. And they're saying more today, so we will see. Cliff, I wonder if the rain ever made it to you. Looks like the majority of it's been running kind of to the east. 50 degrees, low overcast, not raining at the moment, but it's really been raining hard most of the morning. So we'll go ahead and get started. Steve, take it away. N4LQ, WA4LLR.
WA4LLR, N4LQ. All right, it's 55 degrees here in Shelby and raining, and it's been raining for 2 days, but it's just real light type rain, and I'm going to go out there in a minute and see how much. I have no idea. There's a lot of thunderstorms down to the southwest of us and down below Spartanburg, Greenville area, but nothing here. Causing a little bit of static. Running the AF-68 here this morning. And over to Brian, KN4R, N4LQ.
Steve, very good, and happy holidays to everybody. This is KN4R, Brian, Cheryl's Ford, where it's 54 degrees and raining, and really enjoying the rain here. I don't think we've gotten as much as Dave, but hopefully we'll keep getting it. So anyway, I'm on the Globe Camp this morning and listening on the HRO, so all the signals are sounding really good. So over to you, Gary, K3OS in the group, KN4R.
You just trailed off at the end, Brian. Good morning. KN4R, K3OS. Everything was good, and all of a sudden it kind of died a little bit. Morning from Hickory. We're looking out this morning. It's a little foggy, a little hazy, and plenty of rain. I think that's going to be around, I think, all of us today or tomorrow. It's been raining all night. Started probably around 10 o'clock last night here. Not much going on. Running the Gonset twins kind of naked around 40 watts, I think, this morning or something like that. But at least everything seems to be working here. Let me turn it down to Cliff for how things in Tennessee. WB4NKL.
K3OS, it's WB4NKL. Okay, Gary, Johnson twins are sounding good. I'm back on the DX100B here again today. And we never did get any rain yesterday. They called for rain, and it looked like rain all day, and it never did materialize. But it did start sometime in the night, and then it was raining pretty good up till about 30 minutes ago. It stopped here, so I think they are calling for some more rain. I kind of doubt if we've had over half an inch, though. I don't have a gauge out right now. What we got this morning is mostly what has failed here. But it's whatever we can get, we can use. It's been kind of dry around here. I'll send it on to John. John, you was off frequency or something going on there. I could copy you, but I was having a little bit of trouble when you checked in, so maybe you got that straightened out. KZ4B, WB4NKL.
I probably am a little off frequency. I'm on the T150 and the AL1500 linear amplifier for the first time, and I probably don't have it zero bead exactly right. We're soliciting audio and signal reports. We should be running pretty close to maximum smoke with the amplifier. We don't have all the bugs worked out. By the way,
Holy cow.
D104, and it's the same antenna that ATK5 amp and what do you call it, double extended ZEP type antenna, and but we haven't. I'm sure the VFO drifts a little bit, so especially look for AC hum. So taking away. Oh, by the way, the weather here, it drizzled, pizzled all day yesterday. Did the same thing today. Looks like it's going to be. And so we need all the rain we can get, even though it didn't dump like they said, or I slept through it if that's the case. So take it away, buddy. WB4ARK and the group KZ4B, over.
KZ4B, WB4ARK. There's something going on with your transmitter, John. I tuned up to one side, and you had a very strong carrier, but the audio just wasn't right. Don't know exactly what's going on there, but there was a very poor audio, and we had 1.01 inches of rain overnight here. It started raining yesterday. Sometime I forget exactly what time it was. It wasn't raining by 7 o'clock, so it was after 7. It was probably about 9 o'clock. We started, no, that's not right. No, it was after I came back from my son's house. That was about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We started getting some small showers, very light rain, and then it continued on overnight, of course. So that's what we had here. We're running the
the ART-13, the R390A, and that horizontal dipole. So that's about it right now. I don't have much else to say at this point, except we had a very good Christmas. We had, my wife's daughter and her friend Ian and their two sons, Jackson and Dylan. And so we had Christmas here, and then they left yesterday about 11:30, and so it was a very nice time all the way around. So we will turn it to W4KR, WB4ARK.
Thank you this morning. WB4ARK, this W4KR. Well, good morning, everybody, and happy day after Christmas. Had a wonderful Christmas here yesterday. We were going to take a trip up to Michigan, but some of the crew up there, latter part of the last week, came down with COVID. So that killed that whole thing. They had that was our granddaughter. They had a visitor from Germany, and she was kind enough to bring COVID with her. So we all, Joan and I, decided to stay home and go up there in the spring. Dave, I want to thank you, Dave, and thank you for your handling of the preamp. Nice and to the point and succinct, and thank you. Thank you very much, Dave. Appreciate the way you do that. Let's see. Mentioned Christmas. I'm running the Ranger this morning. Running the Ranger in the NC303. Just running barefoot, about 45 watts. And weather-wise, it's 57 out here now. Very heavy overcast. I believe there's the sun up there somewhere, but it's not even a hint that it's up there up there above the cloud cover. And John, you need to listen to the rig, John, yourself, and you'll understand what Buddy was saying. With that, we will turn it over to our good friend Lee, one of the leaders of the pack here. K4VWD, W4KR.
Okay, Stan, thank you. W4KR. This is K4VWD. Well, 52 degrees here and rain. Yesterday was the first time in my life. I'm 88, so I've had 88 Christmases, and yesterday was the first time in my life I spent Christmas by myself. No family. But I got family coming today, and I talked to them all, so I've been very blessed. I got no complaints, but it's just a curiosity. I've noticed something with the lightning, the crashes. It seems like to me they are longer than normal, and I'm wondering if there are different types of lightning. Just seems kind of strange to me. Okay, Charlie, here she comes. W4MEC in the group, K4VWD.
Okay, Lee, K4VWD and the old friends, W4MEC. My transmitter meter selector is deciding it doesn't want to tell me I have 200 milliamps. There we go. I guess I need to
clean that thing. All right, well, boy, it's pouring rain here. It's been pouring rain all yesterday. It's overnight this morning. Thankfully, I've got a good roof to shed it. You know, a few months ago, I would not have, and I don't have a rain gauge. Well, I didn't look at it. It might be raining hard enough for my electronic rain gauge to actually have worked this time. I might want to go take a look, see. But I can tell by my pond that it has been really raining because it's filling up pretty darn good. So I don't know if the science of the rain gauge, you know, if you get so many inches of rain, does the mouth of the rain gauge have to be like 1 inch square in order to accurately capture the amount of inches of rain that fall, or does a pond that rises 8 inches count as 8 inches of rain? I don't know. So we had a good Christmas here, and went over to my son's house across the road. Instead of driving 723 miles, we had to walk 723 feet about, and had a nice. They did a Caribbean Christmas meal with chicken and some other stuff that I don't know what it is, but it tasted okay. All right, down to Jimmy there with the mystery fan emails. K4JAL in the group W4MEC.
W4MEC, K4JAL. Sorry about that email. I don't know what happened with my phone. That was supposed to go to the 4-state QRP group for the kit I'm building. This kit's got more glitchy. I built the little 75-meter transmitter, QRP transmitter before, and everything was spot on. This one, high-quality parts and a good manual, but there are several glitches in the manual, and it's going to be hard to build. And then the software integration for this thing, it's written in C++, and you have to integrate the software with patches from all over, and I haven't done any of it. I used to be a systems analyst, but I'm not anymore, but I guess I'm going to be again. That's about all I got going on. Give it back to Brother Dave. I guess I will. If I can remember, it's called WA4LLR. Can you believe that? K4JAL. Merry Christmas, Dave.
Okay, Jim. Hey, don't feel bad. There are days I have trouble remembering. Merry Christmas to you. Do we have any other check-ins? Come down.
Oh, we'll see if this thing will work. KG4IUQ.
K4, Judy.
I heard SS Wide IUQ. Who else was it?
That's George.
So I've got Billy, Mark, and George. Anyone else? Billy, go ahead and make one, and give it. I can't talk either. Give it to KG4IUQ, Mark, and then Mark, you give it to K4GDN, George, and George, if you can hear me, after you finish, give it back to me. KO4SSY, WA4LLR.
All right, well, good morning. Hopefully this thing's working out. This is going to be strange. So, I don't know. I think I've got the box turned off. My head's coming on. I don't know what that's about. Playing with stuff you don't know nothing about. That's what I'm doing with this rice box. So, used to playing on the old one, so I'm also realizing what everybody's saying about when it's off frequency. It makes a mess on these things. I need to get me something else set up over here in this corner. Missed you on the other net, Dave. Good morning to you and everybody else. It's been quite some time, I'm sure, since I've been trying to get here. Like I said, we're on the rice box, so about 7,300. KG4IUQ to pick it up, KO4SSY.
Thank you very much. This is KG4IUQ. I got on the net late today. I'm hearing pretty well. The station, I'm not sure what the call sign is, KL4SSY, something like that. You're a bit light in here, but Dave, LLR, you're sounding strong, good. Buddy, ARK, you sounding good. Stan, W4KR, with your Ranger, 45 watts, you sounded good. Lee, VWD, K4VWD, you're saying that yesterday was the first time that you had been alone on Christmas, but you're going to have family in today. That sounds good. Charlie, saying that you had to walk just a few hundred feet to be with your family, I believe you said. Jimmy, you said you were talking about building some kind of project and there's a problem with the plans or schematic or something. Everybody sounded good. I just kind of got on late today. I'm going to turn it over now to K4GDN, George. This is KG4IUQ.
Bye.
Hey, George, you there?
George, you've got an audio problem, but I think you probably realize that.
Okay. I'm not hearing any audio, just a carrier. Is that correct?
Yeah, he's broke down.
Alrighty. See if you can get it going, George, and we'll pick you up on the next go-round. So we've added Billy and Mark and hopefully George. Anyone else that would like to check in, come down. All right. This is WA4LLR. Okie dokie. Well, Steve enjoyed the 160 AM get-together last night. I hadn't been able to get on until then, but that was a lot of fun. Brian, the Globe Champ, is doing a good job, and Gary the Gonzit twins sound good. Cliff, your DX100 is definitely a keeper. John, the T150. I agree with Stan. You need to, if Steve is live streaming this, you need to go back and listen. Squeaks and squawks. So I'm sure you'll get it conquered. Buddy, I think the ART-13 is your best sounding rig, but I'm prejudiced. Glad you had a good Christmas with the family. Stan, sorry the visitor from Europe brought the COVID. Man, that's bad. A lot of folks, I know we've got one family in church. Their children came down with COVID. And JPL, John, he and his wife have been battling it, so it's definitely going around. Lee, congratulations on being 88, and sorry that you were on your own this Christmas, but glad you got folks coming today. That'll be good. Charlie, glad you got a nice new roof. That would have been handy during this monsoon. And glad you only had to walk a little bit to get to your Caribbean Christmas. Jimmy, I hope you get that SDR project straightened out. And Billy, the 7300's working, but doesn't have the punch that you usually do, of course. And yeah, sorry about missing the early net, but I tell you, I woke up at 6:30 and the rain was absolutely pouring. And I said, phooey, and I turned over and went back to sleep. Oh, man. It was good sleeping with that rain pouring down on a metal roof. Mark, glad you got in, even if it was late. And George, I hope you get the audio problem straightened out. Well, let's see here. Our space weather today, sunspot counts 98. Solar flux index is 167, and the K was 2 at the last report I got. And it's interesting. Mars rover, the one that's the most active right now, can see the far side of the sun from where Mars is in its orbit right now. And there's a sunspot on the back side of the sun that's 200,000 kilometers across. It's a monster, and it should rotate to where it's geo-effective in about a week. So it'll be interesting to see what that has in store for us. Anyway, on this day in history, on a sad note, in 2004, the big tsunami happened in the Indian Ocean because of an earthquake off the coast of Sumatra and killed, from Thailand to Africa, over 200,000 people. And of course, this is Boxing Day in Canada and the UK. Funny, I used to think it was a celebration of the sport of boxing, but of course it isn't. On this day in 2006, Gerald Ford passed away. On this day in 1966, the celebration of Kwanzaa began for the first time. On this day in 1943, the German battleship Scharnhorst was sunk by the Duke of York in World War II. On this day in 1791, Charles Babbage was born. He was the English mathematician credited with conceiving the first automatic digital computer. So we'll leave it at that. Down to you, Steve, N4LQ, WA4LLR.
All right. I want to check to see if George is back on. George, you there? I'm just hoping he got himself back in order. This is N4LQ. Sorry about that, George. That stuff happens. Let's see, John. That thing, you were 2 kcs low, number one, which kind of confused me for a minute. And I saw you down the band on the spectrum and went down there and picked you up, but it sounds like you're severely overdriving your amplifier that you tune for maximum smoke. That's probably what the problem is. I turn off the amplifier. That T150, I think you got a pair of 6146s. It probably runs plenty of power. I'd turn that amp off and just go barefoot and get on frequency. It might sound okay because you had a lot of modulation, but it was just clipping severely. That poor amplifier was taking a beating, I think. Let's see here. Rain gauge. You know, I went to Walmart several years ago when I bought this one, and they had a whole rack of different sizes and shapes, and I thought, how can they all be different sizes and shapes and still work? And I started looking at the calibration, and they were all different. So the spacing between the numbers varies as to the size of the mouth at the top. And there's a formula for it. I just looked it up, and I won't get into that, but apparently the National Weather Service uses a standard of an 8-inch rain gauge, and there's different sizes, but it's all calibrated. And no, you can't measure your pond. I don't think that'd work. You could. Well, I look at my bird bath sometimes out here, and I can see it rained, but I can't tell how much. Anyway, and appreciate everybody. We had a pretty good crowd last night. Showed up on 160, and we had a good time. That's at 8 o'clock, 1864. If anybody wants to join, we're using AM, and got a few vintage rigs on, but most of them are running Ricebox 7300s. I tell you what, you go up there and listen on 3885 at night, and it's just one 7300 after another. It's becoming the de facto AM rig, and not that they sound bad or anything. It's just the reason I like to run AM is because I get to use the old stuff, and if I wanted to use new stuff, I'd stay on sideband or CW mostly, I guess. Let's see, Billy, weak is hardly the word. Man, you were way down in there. I don't know what happened. You were pretty strong there this morning on earlier, so you kind of faded out on me. So that's all the bad reports I've got today. Over to you, Brian, KN4R, N4LQ.
Good, N4LQ and the old friends. This is Brian, KN4R. Hopefully I'm not sounding bad. Yeah, I second what Steve said. I was going to say, just bump off the amp, John. You probably don't need it anyway. And we want to hear that pure T150 there by itself. But all the rigs are sounding great. And Charlie, congratulations on that Areola Senior 1-tube receiver your son gave you for Christmas. That's really nice. And Jimmy, I really like the picture of your shack, your new clock there, but I also love that RM Italy amp you have there. Those things that's the best thing going, I think. Anyway, we had a big group here, 21, and we played White Elephant Gifts and had a huge meal, and luckily everybody took most of the leftovers home, so that's good. So, and I think we just finished washing the last load of dishes overnight. So, anyway, Gary, those beautiful twins sound great. Over to you, K3OS in the group, KN4R.
Okay, Brian, KN4R, K3OS. Well, guys, the weather hasn't changed here. Jeepers, no sun today. Our two cats are not too happy about that, but at least there's no thunder so far. They go running like crazy. Let's see. I was going to make a couple of comments. Oh, I'm listening to everybody on a web SDR at the moment because I can run synchronous AM on some of those things which support it, which is kind of nice, and I'm copping everybody. Sometimes, oftentimes a little bit better than what I can do on the home antenna here. So always interesting to fire some of that stuff up. I'm still working. I've got one set that'll go on the multi-Elmac will go up on 160. Maybe give it a whirl here with barefoot. Got to get the amp interface running. That's tricky when you got multiple rigs talking to the same amplifier. Work out all the switching and all that stuff, and without hurting anything, as much of you guys understand. Let's see. And Jimmy, that was a nice clock you had pictured. Tell me, but it looks like it's not Nixie tube. So was it an LED version of that? Let's see. Over to Cliff, WB4NKL, sounding good over here, Cliff. DX100 is going to make us all want to go out and buy one. K3OS, go ahead.
Yeah, K3OS, WB4NKL. Well, thanks for the compliments on the DX100. And I've been running it on, tuning it down on 160 on the VetNet. But I don't like doing all the retuning, so I'm going to try to get another boat anchor going on 160 for the net. I think about my Globe King, see if I can see what it'll sound like on 160. Give me a little more power too. Yeah, Dave, that rain on the tin roof. I come out here this morning and got on early net on 3885, and that rain was hitting the top of the roof here, and that's just about putting me back to sleep. So enjoy that. And John, I will agree with everybody else. You were down the band a little bit, and sound like maybe you're overdriving or some popping and cracking and RF type noises in there. Could understand you, but it didn't sound good. Give it another try. See what you're doing. KZ4B, WB4NKL. I think we ran him off air.
There's a carrier, no audio.
A week though.
Come again. Have I got it?
Roger.
I've got sort of a jack leg set up here. The PR30 Pal Star receiver is a great AM receiver, but it's 20 feet away from the transmitter, and the TR cable is unshielded, and I'm getting RF in there, so it doesn't mute well, and I still have lots of warts, and I'm having a hard time zero beating the VFO because the transmitter is so far from the receiver. If I had a crystal, I could cheat, but that's not the case. By the way, the QS Baker is really bad today. Band conditions are very up and down. I appreciate all the feedback on the audio. I hope I'm not hitting it too hard. Some of the popping and crackling may be feedback from the receiver. So on this round, let me know if there's any improvement. I backed off on the audio some, but I'm thinking a lot of it is feedback from the receiver as opposed to overdriving the amplifier, because the amp is not kicking up that much. As a matter of fact, I am way down. Let me jack it up just a little bit here. Let's see. Well, I see. I am barefoot. The amplifier kicked off. Hold on a second. Hello. Well, it's still barefoot. Might as well crank the audio up. I'm up at maximum audio, barefoot on the T150, and it's not putting out much, so I'll keep it short. But if I could get further audio reports, I'm probably going to have to go back to the rice box simply because of my setup here. It's a little bit too jacked. It's going to require further polishing. So on that note, if you can hear me, take it away, buddy. WB4ARK and the group KZ4B, over.
KZ4B, WB4ARK. Well, you're readable at this point, but you're rather weak. I don't seem to see any QSB here so far. I guess it depends on your location. By the way, rainfall is a depth measurement and not a volume measurement. More to it than that, but that's a simple explanation. We got a little problem with our shoulder. Got a catch in my back between my shoulder blade and my spine. Not exactly sure what happened, but it sure does hurt when I bend over to pick up something and move in a certain direction. And thanks, Dave, for the compliments on the ART-13. I thought about putting the 4400 on this morning, but I just didn't feel like it. So we'll get that going maybe Thursday. My wife's daughter's son brought me a foreign receiver, AM, FM, more of a modern type EEC tubes in it, and ECC 85, 86, whatever, and it's got about 4 tubes in it and a tuning eye. It's got some bad tubes. They got the pentode and the triode measures replaced, so I'm going to need to pick up a couple of tubes. I think there's 3 that show problems, so we're going to have to get those replaced before we can really do any testing on it. It doesn't have any reception at all right now. I think one of the oscillators is not working because that section reads replace, and that's usually a pretty good sign. It's pretty much defective. So let's see, we got yesterday was a pretty good day. Went over to we celebrated Christmas the day before at Duncan's house. We just didn't have time to go yesterday and get everything done, so we went the day before to his house and celebrated Christmas there. So anyhow, that's the situation. And let's see what else we got here. I think that's about it. So with that, we'll turn it over to Stan. W4KR, WB4ARK.
Okay, buddy, thank you. WB4ARK, W4KR. Buddy, as far as QSB goes, you were out here this morning, which is and this is unusual. You were there was quite a bit of QSB on your signal. You were a low of F8. You were varying between F8 and 25/9. So the band is jumping around a little bit this morning. Anyway, Lee, you made a comment about length of thunderclaps. You'll probably know I was originally from Michigan and lived about the first 50 years up there. From mid-January, typically from mid-January through early March, we have very, very heavy cloud cover, very deep cloud cover. And we'd have that same phenomena when a thunderstorm would come through. The thunder rumble would just go on and on and on. Whether the actual lightning strike was close or far away didn't seem to make any difference. And the reason for that cloud cover up there is in our case it's Lake Michigan and Lake Erie and Lake Huron all throwing an awful lot of water up into the clouds. And unlike here, that's not maybe 2 or 3 days of cloud cover. That was solid cloud cover every day for that mid-January to sometime into the second week in March. It's really it's kind of depressing, really, but it's very, 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 very different than down here. It's interesting for folks down here get about three days of clouds and they're getting a little crazy, but up there, yeah, you really do. Let's see, what else do I have on my list this morning? Clouds, I covered that. Buddy, the ART 13 audio, just absolutely great. both in how it sounds, just generally how it sounds, listening to it, pleasure of listening. Its bandwidth. It just you got that puppy doing great. Congrats. Always happy to hear your ART-13 on there. Our Christmas meal yesterday was pretty traditional. Mashed potatoes, gravy, green beans, apple pie. That was basically what the meal was all about. And the refrigerator has an awful lot of stuff in it, so I guess we're going to be eating bits and pieces of that for some time to come. Last item, Dave, I think it was you mentioned Kwanzaa. What's happened to Kwanzaa? It's kind of you don't hear much about it anymore. K4VWD, this is W4KR.
This is K4VWD. Okay, Stan. I don't know about Kwanzaa myself. I heard about it, but I don't know anything about it. I'm sorry. It's still 52 degrees and rain here in Greenville, and everything's fine at my house so far. W4MEC in the group, K4VWD.
Kaylee, K4VWD, and the old friends W4MEC. And it's actually stopped pouring rain right now. It's changing a little. And we'll leave it there. Let's see, John, a comment on your audio. I had to make sure it wasn't the band conditions, and when Buddy popped in, it definitely wasn't. But you've got something else going on in there with your audio that sounds like a bad coupling cap or a bad filter cap, because you get that I don't know how to describe this, the noise, but this kind of muffled kind of thing in the background that usually is traceable to some electrolytic leakage somewhere, or a coupling cap. Maybe something if in the audio chain, if you've got a capacitor across a resistor and a cathode circuit, that might be it. But it's doing something weird there, and it needs a little more investigation. But when the audio was loud on your amp, it was overall the audio was pretty good, but it just had issues with it. Let's see. There's a sad note in today. I just discovered this a minute ago. And December 26, 1862, 38 Dakota Indian men were executed simultaneously on a gallows after a trial, and there was actually supposed to be 270 some of them, but Lincoln pardoned or commuted this 240 of them, leaving 39 to die, but then they commuted one at the last minute, and 38 were actually executed simultaneously. Then the biggest mass execution ever in the U.S., I guess. But sad note, and there was a military tribunal that judged them, and they did not provide translators for those Dakota men that couldn't speak English, and it was pretty much a sham in retrospect. But there was a kind of a short 6-week war there where they were on the rampage, and they killed something like 200 settlers in the area, and it all had to do with the U.S. government breaking treaties with them. So a self-created problem, and with a not very glowing end to the situation. So, and there's a saying that the victor writes the history. So, be it the Indian Wars, the Civil War, or the World War II, the victors always write the history to make them look glowing. So, and sometimes there's two sides to every story. So. Anyway, with that, on to Jimmy, K4JAL in the group W4MEC.
W4MEC, K4JAL. Well, I don't know, Charlie. It's hard to go back and
justify how any country becomes a country. They usurp other people always. But I'm thinking you might have a lot of Indian blood. Joke. Brian, yeah, I really like the REM Italy 305, but I'm having a little bit of trouble with it now. You're allowed, the spec calls for 10 watts input from the exciter, and I used to run mine on 8. I thought that was safe, but I've backed her down to 5 now. I get alarms with it. It could be getting tired. It may be my next project, and I hope not, but I've used it for many years reliably. Those are Nixie tubes in this thing, and that's why I got them, because they got the little miniature vacuum tubes. Looks like radio. I love Nixie tubes. I guess I'll say 7-3 and graduate on out of here. I got to go get on the elliptical. It's a happy Boxing Day to everyone, especially you, Dave, because you're the one who brought it up. Back to you, K4J. No, wait a minute. I give this to Billy, KO4SSY. Sorry, Billy, K4JAL, 7-3.
Are you there, Bill? Okay, he sent me a text, said he was eating breakfast, so I guess we'll skip Bill and go on down to Mark. KG4IUQ, WA4LL.
Thank you very much, Dave. Very soggy outside here at my home in Shelby. It's been a good Christmas time. I went over to my parents' house yesterday and was with my brother, his wife, my wife, and my mother and father. We had a nice Christmas. It was really good. I always enjoy that, and I've been thankful that I have both my parents are still with me. I'm almost 62 years old, so I'm kind of just going through a transition, I guess, because I'm at an age where I see some of the people that I've seen in life, they pass away. And I'm not really happy about that, but I'm glad that God has put me here, given me life. I'm going to hope that I hear a recording of this net, because I want to hear and see if there's any humming in it, in the sound of it, and maybe Steve is recording it. I've been working on power supply wiring for this Harvey Wells Bandmaster. This morning I hooked up a relay, made a relay that I'm going to test for the first time sometime. I don't know if it's today or tomorrow, but sometime I'm going to plug it in and see what is going on with the power supply. Dave, you were saying that a sunspot is on the other side of the sun. We may see on Earth, we may get some kind of result from that in about a week. That's really interesting. Really interesting. Maybe sometime I'm going to try to make an antenna for the 160, and I'll try the 160 meters net. Okay, I'm going to turn it over to K4GDN, George. This is KG4IUQ.
Okay, KG4IUQ, this is K4GDN. Had a microphone connection problem. Moving things around in the shack yesterday, and plugging and unplugging things is always an issue. Copying everybody fairly well. The band's got some QSB and some noise, but otherwise things were okay. And anyway, it's cloudy. It's in the mid-60s here in Myrtle Beach. We're supposed to get rain, but it hasn't started yet. And I think I'm going to say something on this round if everybody's copying me. And hopefully I got the problem straightened out. I'm on the Viking 2 this morning, putting out about 100 watts. And receiving on the NC300. Excuse me. So anyway, enjoyed listening while I was working on the microphone connection. So I guess it goes back to you, Dave. WA4LLR to group K4GEN.
Okay, George, glad you got the microphone connector fixed. Real quick standby. Do we have any late people that would like to join? Come now.
K4YRK.
Hey, Dave, K4YRK. Go ahead and make one. WA4LR.
And happy day after Christmas. I've been reading the mail here for well and underway, but anyway, I've enjoyed copying and hope all of you had a great Christmas. Back to you for K4YRK, Dave in Knoxville.
All right, Dave, you're sounding good up here today. I hope you had a good Christmas as well. Any other stations? Come now. All right, nothing heard. Well, I don't mind if you want to do a quick 73 round. We can do that on a rainy morning. I'm not in a rush to get anywhere else. Jimmy has signed out, and George signed out. Billy is at breakfast. We can see if he's there for a 73 comment when we get back to him. But we'll go ahead and do a quick 73 round. Lee, you were talking about Kwanzaa, and I just pulled it up real quickly. It says it's an annual celebration of African American culture, and it's celebrated between December 6th to January the 1st. It culminates in a communal feast on the 6th day. It was based on an African harvest festival tradition in West and Southeast Africa. So that's all I know about it too. So we'll do a quick 73 round. N4LQ, WA4LR.
WA4LLR, N4LQ. Yeah, Kwanzaa, that deserves some study. If you look it up, go Google and type in Kwanzaa communist, and you'll find out quite a bit of interesting things about it. No comments. Let's see, John, I think maybe you got a little FMing going there, maybe it's voltage regulation too. So I think I would just feed that thing into a dummy load, and if you got a scope or some kind of way of looking at your modulation, it may help. Or you can get on here. I think it's trying to work. I mean, the audio basically sounds good, and it sounded really clear when it was working, and then all of a sudden it dropped way down, and there's some kind of kerchuffing sound, but that may be the frequency shifting in my maybe my synchronous AM trying to lock on you. So I need to listen to you in straight AM mode, and then go back and watch the video. I'm going to put a link on the old Friends Net so you can look at it and listen to it and see what you think. Lee, K4BWD, I got a theory for you on this lightning thing, and I know I've noticed it too, that sometimes when you're listening, especially on AM, you hear lightning real long. I mean, it seems like it lasts forever, and then sometimes it's real short spikes. Well, a while ago I heard one of those long ones, and I've got the lightning map here, and I was watching it down there below Greenville, and when that long one hit, there were multiple strikes in a machine gun fashion, but they were in different places. And you know how sometimes you can look up at the sky and see lightning come down like fingers, you know, in different areas. Well, this is what it reminded me of, and it's lightning hitting at different places all at once and arriving at a slightly different time. So I got a phone call, got to go, 73s. Go ahead, Brian, KN4R, N4LQ.
You in the group, KN4R. Well, best of 73s to everybody. Hope everybody enjoys the rainy day and get some nice shack time in, and maybe play with some of the new Christmas goodies you got. So 73s, and everybody have a nice one. K3OS in the group, KN4R.
Okay, Brian, everybody, say 73s to everybody. Look forward to see you guys on Thursday. So, goes down to WB4NKL, K3OS. Go ahead.
Okay, Gary, 73s, and K3OS WB4NKL. Good copy on everybody. George was a little light, but I got him pulled through. And John, I was hearing like a rustling sound on your audio, like a loose mic connection or something. That's what I'd interpreted it as, but like I say, you can listen to the audio on Steve's SDR, but that's the way I interpret it. 73s, enjoyed it, and catch everybody there Thursday morning. KZ4B, WB4NKL.
Okay, WB4NKL and the group, this is KZ4 Bravo. I backed off on the audio and the amplifier is working.
Have it.
I appreciate like I say, this is the first go-round with this transmitter, and we are getting feedback from the receiver, which is part of the problem, I think. It might have made it sound like a bad coupling capacitor, and I'm sure we were probably overdriving. But it looks like it may be a little tamer on this go-round. So again, feedback is appreciated. The QS Baker here is terrible. Band conditions are not good. I mean, the peaks are as high as usual, but the lows signals will just wash out completely. So sometimes it's hard to copy even strong signals. So, buddy, I assume you're still there. Take it away, and if not, straighten it out, Dave. WB4ARK in the group, KZ4, be clear but listening, and thanks for calling the net, Dave.
KZ4B, WB4ARK. Okay, John, well, you still got some issues with, it almost sounds like a bad mic connection. Or possibly you're talking too close to the mic, because it's, I guess the best way to describe it, it's kind of like you got a strong wind is blowing against your mic and it's buffeting the audio. So, a good dummy load would help out. I'm not receiving any or hardly any QSB on any signals. The most signals are very strong. George, Cliff, you, Stan, I'm not receiving any QSB to speak of. Just a tiny bit, not much. So that's very strange. Well, there's a lot that goes on with lightning, I can assure you of that. And that the study of lightning is still ongoing. You would think we would know everything about lightning that there is to know by this time after all of the research and study that's been done, but we don't. It's a strange phenomenon. So I think I'll say 73 at this point, and we'll send it over to Stan. W4KR, and thanks very much, Dave, for doing the net. W4KR, WB4ARK.
Okay, buddy, WB4ARK, W4KR. Last item, last first. Buddy, shortly after we moved here, I had a conversation with the chief engineer of our electric utility, and the conversation was lightning related. And he finally said, we know what to do, but at the end of the day, we don't think we know very much about it. And I think that, it's kind of the way it is. When it comes to prevention, there are a lot of theoretical things you can do, but what really is the cure-all is remains an unknown. As far as John's signal, buddy, my first reaction was that it was with you. Along your lines, bad connection in the mic connector. Other than that, go through John, you're going to have to go through the audio chain with a signal tracer. That'd probably be the easiest way to find it. Could be a resistor breaking down, plate load resistor breaking down, a grid leak resistor breaking down, a cathode resistor breaking down, or the cap. So it's we're all just guessing at that point. Dave, regarding Kwanzaa, the point I was making before is that a number of years ago there was quite a push about that, but then in recent years it's kind of faded. You don't hear in the media, you don't hear anywhere near as much noise about that as you did way early on when it first became a thing here. And Dave, regarding 1862, what's the real difference? What's the conceptual difference between December 26, 1862 and some of the goings-on regarding the treatment of some folks on January 6, 2021? Some things haven't changed all that much, I don't think. Sadly, it's kind of too bad. With that, good day, everybody. Have a great day. Be safe. Catch everybody Thursday morning, Lord willing. So, Lee, here it comes, and take care. See you. Talk to you soon. K4VWD, W4KR.
Okay, Stan, very good. Thank you. W4KR, K4VWD. Well, thanks, Steve, for the explanation on the lightning. I still got questions. It doesn't seem like to me there's any variation in strength as that crash seems to trail off. I don't see any variations in it, which so I still got questions. Thank you, Dave, for doing the net. It's been a good one. I've thoroughly enjoyed it, listening to everybody. So, Charlie, hope you have a good day, and thanks again for the explanation and email. I did print it, and I still got it. Thank you very much. W4MEC in the group, K4VWD, 7-3, God bless.
Okay, Lee, K4VWD in the group, W4MEC. I'm going to have to go with Buddy there, John. QSB is very minimal at my QTH also. Even George was steady. I just wonder maybe you need to switch a different antenna in or something. And I would say if the mic plugs into that transmitter with a phone plug, one of the things, the phone plug might be dirty. It kind of sounds like that too. In regards to Kwanzaa, you would not believe, if you ask people, you would not believe the number of people that do not realize that it is the dead of summer in places like South America and Africa and India, because it's below the equator. They're thinking it's snowy and cold up here, it's snowy and cold everywhere. And perhaps Kwanzaa died off because they could not make the connection in the snow-blown blizzard streets of Chicago and New York that it was harvest time and nice and sunny outside and hot, so as a harvest celebration time. So anyway, I thought that was interesting about folks not making a connection there between the seasons and the equator there. And the last comment was on the lightning. The Blitzerung site is interesting. We mentioned that before. But up on the top right of the page is a strike counter. But it does not increment with the data on the page. I think it does at a very long interval. But if you've got the United States pulled up and then go off to another map and then come back, it will increment the strike counter. And a couple of weeks ago, when we were supposed to get like 2 or 3 days of rain like we're getting now, that storm was in the Midwest, and I was looking at Blitzerung, and it was just lit up with lightning strikes. And I went to that strike counter and checked it, and in the Midwest, they were getting 400 strikes a minute is what was going on. And you can divide that by 60 to come up with strikes per second. So when you get that many going on, it's going to sound pretty darn continuous in the radio, I'm for sure. So anyway, 7-3 all. We'll see you on Thursday. Maybe you'll dry out by then. And good to hear everybody today. Let's see, Jimmy's not there, Billy's not there. KG4IUQ, I bet Mark's there. W4MEC. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Charlie. Well, it's been a good net. I hope everybody has a good day. I believe I'm going to get off of here and see if I can find me something to eat. Enjoyed it. Dave, LLR, thank you for calling the net. And everybody have a good day. And I don't really know who it goes to next. I couldn't really hear the GDN's transmission last time, so I'm going to turn it over right now to Dave, WA4LLR. This is KG4IUQ.
All right, Mark, fine. Billy, did you get back from breakfast? He's still eating. Dave, how about you? K4YRK, WA4LLR.
K4YRK out.
All right, fine business, Dave. Well, folks, thank you for checking in with us today. Excellent net, good signals, and John, if you're still listening, I would try that mic connector like Charlie was mentioning. I've heard similar conditions brought about by a mic connector that was having some connection problems, so that would be a good place to start. Anyway, gentlemen, 7-3, God bless, thank you again, and Lord willing, we will catch up with you on Thursday morning. So this is WA4LLR, Dave in Burnsville, North Carolina, closing this session of the Old Friends Net. 7-3.
Hey, thanks, Dave. Good